Hey yo, what is going on you guys? Alejandro here and welcome back to another episode of Magayon. In this episode, we're going to be building the Interlace, a public housing project inspired by the one with the same name on Singapore. But before I get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button and click the bell notifications to be notified whenever I upload a brand new video. Let's get started. So now you'd see me change this road into an actual highway with actual highway roads, because this was just actually just a wide avenue, a 6-lane avenue, and I turned it into a highway. And the first part of this episode is setting up the connections to the public housing. So the residential area will be located there, and now this interchange is just a basic interchange, nothing special, nothing like that. You'd see me that it's a bit rushed because it's just the same as any other interchange builds you'd see there. But if you want to see a more detailed like how to build this interchange, although it's outdated because node controller wasn't a thing back then, I recommend you watch this single point urban interchange or the continuous flow interchange that I have just built recently, and that's going to be up here. Yes, and it might have been up there a while ago. And yeah, now I'm just fixing up the nodes with the node controller, and the node controller is the another amazing mods. And yeah, I'm changing so this is just like a basic interchange with like dedicated access to the highway. To the left you can go through into like the residential area, into the mountains, and to the right, if you turn right, you can go into the city. And in this episode and the following episodes after this episode is actually early on Patreon. So if you're a Patreon subscriber or even a YouTube channel member, YouTube channel members have early access to videos when they are uploaded, as soon as they're uploaded, and they get exclusive behind the scenes content and early access to more stuff. So I'm going to be talking about those later in the video. But now, just doing the basic detailing of this stuff, like the basics, all of that. I'm also adding this bike road underneath because I'm taking inspiration directly from Singapore. Here it is. I'm going to be building the Interlace later on, so I'm just basing off of this road, this intersection beside it. And yeah, I'm just adding in this like concrete wall or stone wall or something, so that it would look like it's on the ground even though it's elevated like the roads, because it would have been elevated. And a main difference that we're going to be going for here is that we're going to be focusing a lot on greenery. And you'd see me like this a little bit of just a little bit of like sneak peek for I'm just fixing the mountain up, adding in this river. I had a river here before, but yeah, this slope here, I don't think I'm quite satisfied with it. We're going to be changing those in later episodes. But essentially, across that river, we're going to have another neighborhood, but more low density. Now you'd see me place a hexagon. A hexagon has 6 sides, and making this hexagon, I had to have like 120 angles on the inside for each angle, for each corner. It has to be 120 degrees. So thank God we have what do you call this, advanced road information. I forgot the name, but yeah, I've been subscribed to it for a few months now. Ever since like a few years now actually. And yeah, without getting too distracted with tangents, now you'd see me actually place the buildings. So I'm just using these buildings. I forgot where they are, but the asset list is coming up soon. The road list, all the networks of Magayon, is actually up now, early on my Patreon. And if we reach 10 Patreons, I'm going to be uploading it publicly, and I'm going to be finishing off all the assets, like all the things you need, like the buildings, the trees, the props, all this, all that. And yeah, now you can see me place these buildings. These are hexagons, and they are like stacked on one on top of the other. It's like they're interlaced, hence the name. If you want to see a more detailed like explanation of this, I think the architects have a video about like why they designed it this way, but I'm gonna give you like the brief explanation. Oh wait, I'm also like removing some of the parts because we're not gonna be keeping it like this. It has to slope, it has to match the surroundings, it has to be harmonious with the surroundings, because we're beside a mountain and there are like protected views, and we want to preserve the amount of sunlight each apartment room gets. the wind, how much airflow, the coolness, and then the overall aesthetic of it. Of course, we are mainly focused on aesthetic, but we also want to focus on the function of the building, even though it's just like the function on paper, even though it doesn't work that much. But yeah, I just now I'm connecting down the roads. So you'd see me use procedural objects a while ago for making the buildings so that the buildings won't have like the ground texture like clipping up to them. And yeah, it's so that they don't actually have people. The procedural objects, they're just props. So I just tripled the base buildings, like copied and pasted them over each other and just moved them a little bit lower so that they won't look like clipping from afar. And yeah, so the population here is, I guess, more than 1,000 people. But yeah, in real life, this thing is much larger. But it's already big for the scale of Magayon, since the city is scaled so smallly. Is smallly even a word? But yeah, I'm connecting these up, like so that like the essential services can have access to the buildings, because you don't want to have like a lot of issues with it. Even though I have the notifications off, that's the mod with the A, B, C, D, E, F on the bottom right. It allows you to turn on and off things you want or don't want to see. And yeah, that's in the link in this description, the mods list. Yes, I'm going to be posting the mods list now because why not. And yeah, I'm adding in this like bike lane here because I'm planning on, because since the city has like a wide bike network, it's just fair to have like a bike road like going around this place. And yeah, just smoothening them out, because you wouldn't want to bike on a 90-degree turn. You don't want to like skirt. You have to like skirt. I don't know if you understand. If you guys bike, you'd know that like the proper gradients, the curve, the slopes, all that are important, just like cars. Because when you bike, you don't want to go like use all your energy trying to go uphill. It has to be on a gradual slope. And with that bike tangent done, I'm just placing down these, what they call these pathways, these pedestrian pathways, because I'm going to be changing the entire ground texture to just plain grass. That's why I used this, because this has helped me like detail a lot of like other places in the city. For example, Bayview, the highest detailed build I've ever built, like early on in the series, because I didn't have that much time and the series was just starting. I was just trying to get like what the series is gonna be, and I'm actually thinking on a season 2 maybe, since we already have like the lore of Magayon set and all the plans, what we take inspiration from, all this, all that. I think we're gonna have a season 2 where we focus mostly on just expanding the city based on those principles. And if you guys want to follow along the journey and get early access, exclusive look into these things, I actually have a community Discord now. So yay! The community Discord is in the link down below, and you guys can share your creations and share inspiration with everyone and talk about anything under the sun. Mostly about like specifically about Cities Skylines and anything design related, but you can actually talk about whatever you want. And yeah, just remember to respect each other, because respect. Hey. We don't want to be disrespectful, because disrespectfulness is not tolerated in anywhere, anytime, any place. Spotify Premium. No. I just had Spotify Premium. I mean, I don't have Spotify Premium, so I have the advertisements on. So yeah, with that being said, the Discord is going to be in the link down below. I'm going to be sharing there like updates and all that. But if you want to get even earlier access to like what I'm actually doing as of the moment, like the ATMs and like the future plans for the next episodes and in-depth looks into things, I have the Magayon Council. Is like where the office, like the council members of the city, the dog is barking behind me, but don't mind it. So that's where like the decision making part of the series is going to go. And if you want to like see this, be updated, go to the Discord. And roles, everybody who joins the Discord will essentially be a citizen or a mamamayan, and you can go like higher tiers depending on what your like the roles you have in the community. But essentially, those who can join the council are the Maginoo, Maharlika, Dalakan, and the Datu, which I am Dalakan or something. But yeah, it's still subject to change. It's still early on. We're still early on the project. And yeah, that is the community Discord. Yes, now we're doing detailing and landscaping. We're adding in these trees. I don't know if I got too carried away, but essentially this is supposed to be like, we have to have like a forest behind us. It's a protected area, this mountain. Like we're gonna have like very specific, only specific places allowed to be built. We're gonna have a dam here, and this is gonna be a nature reserve. So yeah, and you know, we have this highway here. It goes like here. It doesn't go through the mountain. The mountain has to be, I think there has to be like a lore to the mountain. Like this is like where the old city used to be or something. This like that, like the ruins. I don't know. We'll see. I'm trying to strike a balance between the amount of detail I have here to like optimize for the game, and I think I did quite well, although I had like second thoughts while building this because oh my gosh, I'm using networks again. I'm using a lot of segments. Maybe I'll hit the node limit as soon, like so soon, but yeah, I hopefully we don't, because I looked at the limits. We're still quite far, but we have a slight problem. I'm just gonna connect this like train track. It's gonna be high-speed rail, so it's gonna go into the hill to preserve like the nature reserve, so that you don't have to have, it's just nothing to be like too, you know what I mean, like it's a nature reserve that nothing is allowed to be built there, only specifically approved builds. So this train track has to go underground, to avoid that. And yeah, I'm going to be connecting them underground. The train station is going to be on later episodes, but yeah, just so stay tuned. I'm going to build like a train station, a central hub, basically, like all this, all that, all the transport things in one place. Yeah. So what was I talking about? So I was talking about like the amount of detail here, and I think it's like quite nice. And yeah, I think I struck like the proper one. But now I'm just changing it to Salin because Salin is like, so I think it's interlaced in Filipino. I'm not quite sure, but I think it is. And I'm adding in these building right here. I don't think this is gonna be like an apartment. I think this is like a hotel. No, this is gonna be like a logistics maintenance center or a commercial building, because if you have like a public housing complex, you don't want to make it like a high-rise suburb. You have to have all the amenities that you need. So let's just imagine that there are shops on the ground floor. Even though we don't place any commercial buildings, we'll just use our imaginations, because imagination won't limit. So yeah, fixing up these, fixing up that, adding in trees. Now the foliage around here, so I just ramaged the foliage. You don't see it in the cinematics, I mean in the time-lapse, how I built that, but essentially I just placed tons of trees, low poly trees, by the way, by Pedelmo, to sell you the forest vibe, like the literal very lush, very green, yeah, without sacrificing FPS, of course. And now we're adding a lot more greenery here by making the medians green, because I'm taking inspiration from Singapore, and the inspiration I'm taking from, which is like the Interlace, has a lot of greenery around them. And in Singapore, there is essentially a lot of trees around, like the roads. Like their roads are like amazing. I watched a first-person walk or drive actually around Singapore, and it was amazing. Like the roads are so clean, they're spacious, they're walkable, they're tree-lined. It is hands down amazing. And yeah, so I want to incorporate a lot of Singapore into Magayon, because Magayon is very like a very optimistic Philippines that was never colonized. So why don't we just go all out and make it the best? I said in the previous episodes that I'm gonna leave the poor people living on the edges of the city, but you'd see here that this edge of the city is like home to the super rich. So I think the people are just gonna be left in public housing. So you're just gonna see that a little bit mildly depressing housing, but it's still livable. It's better than what we have actually here, like right now. But yeah, now we're doing the detailing inside of the complex of Salin, and we have this like cafe here, and restroom for some reason from the Park Life DLC, and an information center so that people who have to enter can like ask like, what is this place like? Hello, hello, hi, hi, hello. And we have like an office here, because why not? I don't know. It was so empty, so I just filled something there. Just, you know, if you guys have any purpose for that building or these buildings around it, hit me up in the comments. And yeah, parking should be underground actually, but I placed the building either way because we still need parking there because people want to go into this place, and if they don't have cars, they're just gonna spawn. And if we have parking, more cars. I don't want a lot of cars going around the street, even though we're like not that focused on highways. The outer ring of the city, on the other hand, is focused more on highways, hence why we don't have like the tram going straight through here. Like the tram could have gone through straight through into this part, but I decided not to because I don't know, I think we should just have like a bus going through here, because in Singapore there's actually a bus line going through here. And yeah, I'm now detailing the courtyards. Now these courtyards, each courtyard has a specific niche or a specific purpose to them. So you'd see me place like a fountain there, and I'm just adding in these trees here. The community pool, accessible to everyone. We have a lot of pools, but sadly with the game limitations, and I don't want to spend too much time detailing because people just won't see them anyway. I am, what do you call this, I didn't like focus on that too much, so I just placed, you know, trees everywhere. I don't know why we have like a very long pause here. I think I went to the bathroom. But yeah, getting back to the topic, I'm just adding in a lot of trees because after putting in the trees, like before the trees were even here, like I was like kind of like depressed, like mildly, like mga 10% lang. And yeah, I was like, oh, this sucks, like this looks so ugly, like oh my god, like why? But now with the trees, it's like gorgeous, amazing, beautiful. I don't know what I'm doing. The Jennifer Coolidge accent. So yeah, anyways, with the Jennifer Coolidge impersonation tangent off, each like hexagon or polygon thing, we have like a courtyard or a public space, and it's just a cute little space where people can gather. And the hexagon shape of it like allows a lot of airflow, natural sun. It makes the building cool, and with the greenery, you know, you'd really want to live here. Like if I had to explain the architecture or design behind this, it's essentially, instead of like the buildings stacked on top of each other like a tower, you're just toppling the tower down and then stacking them horizontally instead of vertically, which makes it a little bit more, you know, hashtag creative. But yeah, it's already been done, so I'm just recreating it in my own way, in the sense of making it smaller, and you know, I'm just taking inspiration from it. And in the next episode, we're going to be building a lot more public housing because we really need population in the city. Now we have 3,000 with the addition of this, and yeah, this, I think we have already reached the end of the video. This actually took like 5 hours or so to make. So if you guys really want to show your support to this channel, consider becoming a patron on patreon.com/Alejandro, or become a channel member and get exclusive content, early access, and much more, and show your support, you know. But if you can't, I understand. You can still subscribe to this channel. Only 30% of you guys have subscribed. So if you want to subscribe and help the channel grow, hit that bell notification. You'd be notified whenever I upload a brand new video. Like, comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe. This is Alejandro signing off. Bye.